Hi. Hi guys, we're just about to get started. Thank you for joining. Okay, I'm just about to, wow, loads of you joining, thank you so much. We're just about to get Curtis in a second. I'm just pinning the topic to the screen. So welcome to the lockdown series. Hi guys. Today we are going to be discussing designing your dream wedding dress with Curtis Cornelius. And this is part of my new lockdown series. So whilst we're all stuck indoors, this is a great opportunity to find out a little bit more about the bridal industry and a little bit more about people who I find inspiring. So thank you so much for joining. Okay, so I've pinned the comment. Add Curtis to the chat. Hi Curtis.
Hello, Audrey.
Thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Curtis, for joining our live chat today. So I think he's now joining in. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. I'm so honoured to have Curtis on Show the Bride today. So Curtis is going to tell you all about himself in a moment, but he is, I would just say, amazing. He's an amazing bridal designer. He's an ex-Louis Vuitton tailor. He now makes haute couture dresses for amazing, amazing people, which he'll tell us about shortly. And I'm genuinely so honoured to have someone as lovely as Curtis join me on the lockdown series.
Thank you.
So I'll just introduce myself actually, because I haven't done that yet, but I'm Laudine. So I'm founder of Show the Bride and Bridal Box. So Bridal Box is a new bridal beauty gift box, which I launched towards the end of last year. And Show the Bride has been my bridal blog that I've had for the last few years. And I don't really do that many Instagram lives on this channel, but I'm trying to do more of those. And I'm really grateful that Curtis is joining me today. So Curtis, as I said, thank you so much for joining me. And I just want to basically just give you a little bit of time just to talk about you and your journey. And then we'll move into some of the questions that have been sent from the followers. And guys, if you do have any questions later, send them and we'll try and answer some of your questions. We've had quite a lot come through already. So Curtis, I'd just like you to tell us a little bit about you and how you got to where you are.
Okay, well, I studied fashion design nearly 20 years ago at St. Martin's. And when I left, I went to work in Paris very briefly for about a month on a work experience placement. And then when I came back to London, I started working for Gucci in Sloane Street, their flagship store, while Tom Ford was kind of at the peak of Gucci land. And it was an incredible place to work, really good fun, amazing people. And I started in a sales position and then moved over into the tailoring after about 5 years. And then after another 5 years, I went to work for a bridal company briefly, and from there I got headhunted to start up the tailoring department for Louis Vuitton in Bond Street, in New Bond Street. And I was there for nearly 9 years, up until January last year. And then I jumped into starting my own company.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so I guess before we get into the interview with Curtis, I hope you've all got yourselves a drink and some nibbles because you are in for a treat, and I want to make sure that you're all comfortable and that you're all going to get yourselves ready, because Curtis will later be showing us a little bit around the dresses that are in the background. So we just thought we'll do some questions first, and then he'll go and show us some of the things that he's designed. So the dresses in the back are all designed by Curtis, and we'll go into some detail on that later. Okay, so get comfortable. Okay, so Curtis, so you've just told us a little bit about you and I guess how you got into your career. Could you just tell us a bit about how you got into wedding dress design?
Well, ever since I left college, I've been asked by friends and I've been referred by people to speak to clients for designing wedding dresses for people. So I've always done that on the side, as just really nice projects to work on. It's as near to getting to working in the couture industry as you can possibly get, like working on these kind of projects. And it's amazing working on something that's for the best day in someone's life. It's a really lovely, humbling experience to work with somebody on a project like that. It's like building a house, I guess.
Step by step.
Yeah.
And then what could you tell us a bit about maybe what's been your most challenging project and why?
Challenging projects, I think one of them is the beaded dress you can see on, is it the right of the screen? Yeah, the
right, yeah.
That was quite challenging because the original brief kind of changed as we worked through the project. The client, Philippa, who I was working with, she wanted something that was very fitted in the waist, and she wanted a little corset made. So it started off as one design, and then she ended up losing quite a lot of weight before the wedding. So she kind of changed what she wanted from the dress. So we ended up changing the design as we went along. And it wasn't always in the kind of best order. So we had to kind of backtrack a little bit, but we got where we needed to. And
it looks stunning.
She probably dropped a couple of sizes. So it was challenging in the respects of just having to go backwards a little bit and then remaking. But you learn from every single project you work on.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And obviously we've talked about, Curtis, the fact that a lot of brides do lose a lot of weight throughout the sort of picking your first dress, and then actually at the end when you're trying the dress on before you walk down the aisle. So could you maybe give us a bit of insight into the process that you go through with brides or even customers that just want a couture dress, as to what process these dresses?
Well, I usually start with somebody just reaching out and getting in contact with me. Just have lots of conversations, talk about what they're interested in, where they're getting married, the styles they like, designers they like. And then I ask them to just send me a whole file of images that kind of inspire them. It doesn't have to be dresses, it can be anything. And just, we use that as a starting point for a conversation about what they're looking for and what they're dreaming of. And then usually I'll come back with a lot. Usually I can get a vision of what they're trying to achieve. So then I come back with other images and start doing sketches. And then we go from there. That's the kind of starting point. And then we'll start doing fabric research. And for couture projects, I usually start by going to the fabric stores and sending lots of WhatsApp images to clients to see what they like, see what they don't like, so that you kind of filter down everything that they're looking for, so that when you get to meet them properly and discuss everything, then it's a lot easier. Or sometimes I will go with the client to the fabric stores and just make a day of looking at fabrics and just getting inspired.
That's amazing.
And then we go from there. Once they're happy with the design, then we will confirm the order and start the process and start actually making the toile and then the dress.
And can you design from a photo? Like, can you, if I guess a bride has a picture of a dress that she's thinking she wants?
I can, but it's always nice to make it a bit more personal to them. It's better not to copy something. It's better to make something that person's vision.
Yeah.
So things kind of develop as you go along, always.
Okay, no, that's great to know. Um, and then I guess for anyone that wants to make a couture dress, how far in advance does someone need to get in contact with you before they can finalize their dress?
I would advise 6 months. If it's a couture project, then there's quite a lot of the process involved, and it makes it more relaxed if you have as much time as possible. It just makes it more fun for the client. It helps fit into their schedule as well. And also some of the fabric suppliers, they like close down in August for the month. So if you're sourcing anything from Europe, any fabrics, it's impossible during August. So you have to kind of spread things out as much as possible. There are a few big fabric shows in London that come up, which are quite interesting to visit with if it fits in with the timing for the client to take them to those events. But I think 6 months is a pretty good time scale.
Good time.
It can be done quicker, but that's the ideal.
Okay, no, that's great. And I think most people watching will just be keen to understand what sort of budget do they need for a couture dress?
Well, the pieces on my website, the designs that are already there, it's a small collection, but they start from 3,000 because obviously the patterns are already made, the fabrics are already sourced. I can make alterations to the styles, like we can make them strapless or change necklines, or we can be flexible with what's already there, because all this a lot of the work's already done. But when it's a couture project, it will start at around 5,000, because there's a lot of initial work that needs to be done at the beginning, like all the design and the inspiration and the fabric research.
Okay, right, amazing. And I think a question that I've been asked to ask you is, do you at the moment do home visits or travel abroad? Obviously, once with COVID restrictions.
Yeah, I can travel abroad. I've done the last client I had just before the lockdown. Actually, I was doing home visits for her, and it, whatever works well for the client. I'm happy to travel. That's not a problem at all.
Okay. And then what would you say has been your favourite dress to make, and why?
I think these two. So the beaded one on the left, because it was so labour intensive, and it was, putting all the lace together. It's all cut up into small pieces and then put together like almost like a jigsaw puzzle. Just so that all the lines really accentuate the body and look really flattering. And also the chiffon dress that I made for a friend who wanted something she could wear again for events. So the brief was, she wanted something a bit different that she could wear again. And I think it was quite a challenging brief, but I really enjoy doing projects like that.
I wonder if now would be a good time to maybe get a closer look at some of the dresses.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go mobile for a second. Let me
Amazing.
just turn the camera around. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this dress has all been hand beaded. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, you can see the sparkle.
Embroidered tulle with glass beading all over, and then it has a two layered lining. There's like an organza lining with glitter on. And when this is in sunlight, it looks like a piece of jewelry. It looks really stunning.
That's so gorgeous, yeah.
And we've got
illusion. Like it could be heavy. Is it quite heavy to wear, or?
It's not heavy. It's just because there are a few layers of fabric. So I think there's 3 layers, but it's not really heavy. I've worked with heavy lace before, but this is actually hangs very nicely. So this is
I can just see we've just had a question about how long did that particular dress take to make, Curtis?
This was a 6-month project because the client was living. They kind of sold up everything and went to live on a yacht. So they were traveling. They're traveling all around the Mediterranean, and they're in Barbados now. So Philippa was traveling back for fittings and for meetings, and that's why we needed that kind of time to work on it.
That's amazing.
This dress it's all embroidered with feather motif, which is raised, and then transparent sequins, and then all the feathers have been hand applied, which takes a week to sew on, because all the feathers are individually sewn on. And now that's on the cap sleeve as well. Can you see okay?
Was this one for a wedding, Curtis, or is this for a particular occasion, this particular dress?
Originally, I made this in a very heavy lace, which was beaded. I've sold one of these for a wedding, and I also made one in black for an evening event. And we can change the color of the lining for this. It looks really cool with white underneath as well. It looks very, very light.
Yeah, that's so lovely.
A long train.
Wow.
And all the feathers.
I just see there's a question about the feather dresses in a different color. So yeah, Curtis has done this in different colors.
Yeah, it comes, the main fabric comes in white or black, but then we can obviously change the color of the lining. And the one I made for a client was, it was made so the sleeve was off the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then this is the chiffon one, which is very difficult to show. It moves beautifully when...
Yeah, that movement is lovely.
And this has a very low back.
Yeah, that's lovely. I can see that now. The back is lovely.
Thank you. And the shoulders, the sleeves on the shoulder, they're removable. They have little poppers on, so you can take them off.
Yeah.
And like I said, we can change the neckline. The one I made for a client, we had a much lower V at the front. And we can make this strapless as well. This, we're quite flexible.
Lovely. And could we maybe see, the brown one? If we could see the front of it, because I think you showed us the back, but we didn't quite see the front.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah, there we are. Isn't that stunning? Yeah. That's a very unique dress. That's lovely.
It's different, and I like that. I like the client's brief was that she wanted something different. She's a creative director for an advertising company, so she wanted something different. And then the other thing is the dress that you showed on the flyer.
Yes.
I've put this on a hanger. Sorry for the extra in the background.
Oh, it looks lovely.
I mean, this dress was designed so that after the wedding, if you want, you can have the corset and the skirt taken apart and turned into separates. So you can have it made as a separate corset. So you can wear it with jeans or with, I made a pair of trousers as well, which.
Wow.
So you can use it again. I'm really interested in creating pieces that you can kind of remodel after the day and reuse as part of your wardrobe. It's not what everybody wants, but it's interesting to keep pieces in use.
Yeah, I mean, all the comments are saying very smart idea, different, unique. That's really good. Great, we can see you again. That's amazing. No, it's so good to actually be able to see the dresses in the background and to get a close look. So that's amazing. And then there's quite a few people wanted to know about your time at Louis Vuitton and whether you worked with celebrities or what you were doing at Louis Vuitton. So feel free to let us know what you can let us know.
I mean, I can't really say who I worked with, but I've worked with incredible people. I mean, the whole team there that I worked with was just fantastic, always. And I, you know, I was lucky to work with a press team in the UK and in Paris, and have done lots of celebrity fittings and royalty. I've been flown to Cape Town, flown to Sweden for fittings. I can't really say who who I fitted, but yeah, it was incredible, really fun.
Really, that's
And
amazing.
really good buzzy place to work.
Okay, fantastic. And then I do have a question about who would you love to design a wedding dress for? And this could be past and present.
I think I had a long think about this, and I think the person that really stands out above anyone would be Audrey Hepburn.
Oh,
Just
that's a good.
because I think she was around in that era when couture was just exploding, like, and she was dressed by incredible designers who were just amazing craftsmen and artists. And it's you know, it's an era that everyone kind of dreams about, you know, as a designer or as a woman. You look at these images and they're just incredible, and the craftsmanship involved in those pieces is just, you know, unreal.
And Curtis, I've had a question come through. So some people are actually asking, what does couture mean? They're not sure what a couture project
Couture is like everything is handmade. Everything's handmade, hand finished. The embellishment, the finishing, the technique, just everything that's involved is through artisans. It's not mass production. It's all individual pieces that are made to someone's exact measurements.
Mm. Okay. No, that's a good summary actually. It's a good way to answer it. And then who would you say is your biggest inspiration, or what is your biggest inspiration?
I've had lots throughout my career, lots and lots. You kind of get inspired by little things from different designers. But I think Dior, is the predominant influence. I mean, I went to his exhibition in Paris a couple of years ago, and we went to the exhibition 4 times in London, and I took lots of people, and it's just the craftsmanship and the silhouettes that he was creating throughout his career were just incredible. And it was amazing to see those pieces, because you look at photographs and you can't really get a true sense of what's involved in making those pieces, but when you see them, they're just like artworks. They're so beautiful, and they were so before his time.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing. And then I guess there's been quite a few questions around, I guess, you know, your career and how do you get into the industry. So I guess, do you have any tips for people that are wanting to get into the industry?
I would really recommend sort of kind of figuring out what it is you want to do, whether you want to work with a photographer or a stylist or an event planner or a designer or a wedding shop, and just go and do work experience there for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, as long as you can, just to learn as much as you can. Usually they're quite small companies, so you get a taste of everything, whether it's making or speaking to clients, or, you know, it's just a great experience to get as much experience as you can and make sure it's something you really enjoy.
Amazing. And then would you say that, are there any particular qualifications that someone needs? So I know you mentioned you went to Central St. Martin's, but are there particular qualifications you would need to get into this career?
I think it's really easy to learn online now. There are lots of profiles on Instagram even that teach you how to make patterns, how to create dresses, and they're really, really informative. So you can learn a lot from just watching Instagram posts. And even I'm still learning. You have to keep learning all the time. It's, you know, I'm learning. I follow a few profiles on Instagram, and there are some really, really good designers on there that actually show you how to manipulate patterns and how to make styles, and it's really, really useful. You don't necessarily have to go to college. You can go and work with a designer. There's lots of different ways of getting into the industry. You can do scholarships or apprenticeships. There's lots of ways in. So, but I mean, with what's available nowadays, I would start with looking at what's on Instagram and looking at profiles and following people that do tutorials online.
That's really helpful. So I can see, guys, that there's a few questions coming in, and we will have time to answer all of your questions at the end. So if you have any more questions you want to ask, feel free to keep commenting, and I'll scroll through them in a few minutes, and then we will start answering those from the live feed. So Curtis, whilst they're asking their questions, I know that we've got quite a few already. I wanted to ask, is there anything else that you'd like the followers to know about you or your business?
Not really. I mean, I'm a very open person. I'm just happy, you know, if somebody is not sure about anything, or they're thinking about having a dress made, because it's not something that people are used to doing anymore. People are used to going to stores and just buying things, and you know, they don't even have them altered. It's like everything's ready to go. And that's what people are used to. And years ago, people would have everything made by their mum or their aunt or their grandmother. So it's quite daunting to get in touch with somebody and to reach out. But, you know, I'm here anytime anybody wants to ask anything, just call me or get in contact. I'm more than happy to speak to people and talk about their ideas, do some sketches for them, talk to them about fabric stores, anything anyone needs to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that, because definitely I think for a number of different cultures, like going to get a dress made is the norm, especially for weddings. So it's definitely very big in African culture.
Yeah.
I know it's big in Asian culture, you know, because we have certain traditions and certain styles, but typically a bride will want a dress custom made to fit her body that maybe no one else has seen on another bride. And I know what you mean. It has kind of filtered out of Western culture somewhat, because there are so many ready-made outfits. But yeah, certainly I think a lot of different backgrounds are so used to kind of coming with an idea and working with a tailor to find the end result. So,
and it's
okay,
really,
no, that's really good.
I think it's really daunting for women as well to do something that they're not used to, doing something that's unfamiliar. It's quite daunting. It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be an amazing experience. And I think if you're not leaving it less than 6 months, I think you've got enough time to really work with the designer to actually get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then Curtis, I can't go on without ignoring the fact that we are obviously in lockdown, so we should address.
We are.
So, I mean, how have you been coping in lockdown?
Well, it's been a bit of a strange experience for us, because we actually sold our house. We exchanged on our house the week before lockdown happened. So we ended up moving house while everyone was locked down, which was a very, very strange experience. Just organizing things with movers, all the PPE, the masks, the contact, cleaning, you know, it was quite a strange experience, but we've just been really busy moving, basically. Yeah,
no, I can imagine. Okay, no, that's really great. And I guess obviously now we're hearing more about people reopening, and a number of bridal stores are reopening. So do you have any plans to reopen soon?
Yes, things will open up a bit more from July, the beginning of July. I've spoken to the studio, and it's going to be very relaxed at the beginning. It's only going to be we're only going to be seeing one client at a time there. I'll be supplying PPE for clients if I need to see clients at the studio. Or like I said, we can organise home visits, but that'll obviously be a bit later on in the year. But I'm happy to work remotely with clients on as much as possible.
Yeah, because so much is done over Zoom now as well, isn't it? And
yeah,
online. I guess yeah.
I'd never used it before. Never used Zoom before, and I've been on.
Yeah, my first time using it was lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So what I'll do then, Curtis, is I'm going to go and look at some of the questions that we've got in the feed, and there's quite a few. So I'm just scrolling, guys. So I'm going to try and answer as many as we can. Give you a chance to have a drink, Curtis.
Thank you.
Okay, so quite a few of the comments at the beginning were just saying how stunning the dresses are, to be honest.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, the lighting's not perfect in here, so we're working with
it. I mean, we've got a good close-up of the dresses anyway, so that was really great. Oh, and I've got a comment from somebody saying you designed a dress for them and it was stunning.
Oh, really?
Lovely.
Who was that?
Yeah. Honorary is the Instagram name. A name might be different to the username.
Honorary. That was so. Yes, this is. Oh, bless her. So the feather dress I made for her in black. Amazing.
Oh, amazing! Yeah. Amazing. That ties in actually, because we have a question saying, "What is a feather motif?" I think you talked about the feathers being added onto a dress. So I think someone was asking.
It's like a tulle base, and then it has feathers embroidered onto the fabric, which are raised, and then the feathers are there are ostrich feathers sewn onto underneath the embroidered feathers.
Okay. And then I've got a question as to how would you describe your signature style? Do you have a signature style for your dresses?
I like things that are quite architectural, but not like completely crazy. Very chic and very a little bit understated, but I like really architectural pieces.
Okay.
So like like this, like the chiffon dress.
Yeah, no, that's lovely. And then I've got a question about who inspired your style and that your dresses look stunning.
Thank you. Who inspired my style? I get inspired by lots of different things. When you design, you just get inspired by so many things around you, whether it's nature or architecture, buildings, flowers, lots of things. You get inspired by lots of things, and you get lots of inspiration from historical dress as well, historical designs, and the way things are draped and the way things are made. You know, there's lots of designers from the 40s and 50s that created new ways of working. So once you start researching those techniques, you get inspired by them and you practice with them, and they inspire your own work.
Brilliant. And then the other question that's coming through is, how many people are in your team, or is it you alone?
Sometimes I work on my own. Sometimes I have a team of 2 or 3 people that help me out. It just depends on workload. I try and do as much as possible myself, and do all the research and design myself. And it just depends on how busy we are.
Perfect. And then I've had, have you ever made a colourful wedding dress?
I have actually. One of the first projects I worked on was made in blue silk with ostrich feathers.
Oh, amazing.
In layers on the skirt and on the top. And it was a 2-piece. And she wanted pieces that she could wear again. and it was quite a crazy wedding. It was a little bit like costume, but it was cool.
Amazing. A few comments about they love the idea of the wedding dresses that can be reused that you showed earlier, and then one question about how many fittings are required. They said it sounds like there would be quite a few fittings needed.
I think about 3 or 4 usually. That's usually ideal.
And then I've had another question: is couture the same as custom made?
No. Sometimes custom made, it depends. Some designers have different definitions, but custom made is usually I want to order this dress in a size 12, so it's made in a size 12. It's made to the designer's pattern in a size 12, and then you would do alterations to it. Whereas couture is you're actually making a pattern from the very, very beginning to fit that client to the exact measurements. So custom made is usually all the patterns are already made, and then they just go ahead and make that piece.
Okay.
And then they would do alterations.
Okay. And then I've got, in terms of prices, what was the question says prices, cheapest and highest to date?
Cheapest is 3,000 and highest is about 12.
Okay. And then I think this is from when we were talking about the training required to get into this sort of career. There's been questions about, do you do training yourself or any online tutorials?
There are lots of online tutorials. I can send you the links to the profiles, and then you can pass them on if you like. I can't remember them off the top of my head. There's lots of.
Oh, I think they mean, do you offer any?
No, I don't know. I'm not quite set up yet for teaching, but there's lots of online profiles. There's lots of part-time courses you can do at lots of colleges in London. It's St Martin's and London College of Fashion. They do lots of summer courses and evening courses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to share. If you've got some links, I'm happy to share it on the blog or something on the Instagram page.
I can send those to you afterwards.
Okay, perfect. Someone said, absolutely love this collaboration. Thank you so much. Dresses in the background look stunning. Love the low cut back. Another question about online tutorials. Yeah, so Curtis doesn't do those just yet. Maybe Curtis, that might be something you do.
Maybe in the future.
One question says, where did you find you spend most of your time working pre-lockdown, Paris or London?
In London.
In London.
Yes.
I've got a comment from Honoree saying the dresses are far more beautiful in real life, and someone agreeing, saying they agree, they've seen the collection and they're beyond beautiful, amazing.
I mean, I have a couple of projects which are on hold because of lockdown, and obviously the clients had to leave the UK to get back home. So there are a couple of really, really interesting projects I'm working on that I'm really looking forward to kind of getting into. So yes, there'll be some interesting content coming up.
Yeah, brilliant. I can't wait to see some more. And then I've got a question about the starting price for a custom-made dress or a couture dress. At the beginning of our Instagram Live, we did touch on prices. So Curtis has got a number of ready-made dresses that he's designed that are couture now on his website, and those start from about 3K. And then for a couture dress that you want to make yourself and have all the fittings, etc., those start from about 5K.
Yes.
I think that's correct, isn't that, Curtis?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, comment saying it'd be great to get a link to your tutorials and how talented you are. Fantastic. So guys, if you would like to ask any more questions, I've got another one that's come through. How do you create something original for brides that haven't considered custom designs before?
Well, like I said, you just get as much inspiration from clients as you can. You just talk to people and ask them to just gather as much information as they can. And then from seeing all of those images, lots of things keep repeating, and you start to see what is inspiring somebody, whether it's the shape or fabric or style. So a sense of what they really love starts to come through.
Brilliant. Oh, and this is an interesting question. So have you ever created a wedding dress using African print?
No, but I'd love to. I'm speaking to somebody at the moment on an interior project, and she's working with African prints, and they are just amazing. And she's mixing lots of different ones together. So I would love to do something like that.
Fantastic. And then I've got, how has your time working with Tom Ford influenced your design process, or at all?
A lot. I mean, I was very with the chiffon dress. I was very, very influenced by his designs at the time, and I still love everything he does. He's a very inspirational man.
That's amazing. Yeah. And then I've got, what is your favourite fabric to work with?
Ooh.
Do you have a favourite?
It's funny. Sometimes you really enjoy working with new fabrics because they can be really challenging. Some fabrics are very, very difficult to work with, and you kind of sometimes you end up pulling your hair out trying to figure out how to work with them. But then it's actually quite satisfying, kind of going through a learning process with how to deal with them. So yeah, I don't have a specific fabric I like to work with. I mean, let me show you again. This satin is from an incredible supplier in Italy, and it's like no other satin I've ever felt before. It's like ice cream. I can't describe it any other way.
It looks very smooth.
But it's beautiful to work with. Really, really amazing quality. And a lot of the suppliers in Italy are incredible.
Fantastic. And then I've got one question about, do you ever make wedding capes?
Capes? I haven't. There's one outfit on my website which is a pair of trousers with a train attached, and I've designed that so that you can actually take the train off after the wedding and have it turned into a cape. So you can actually turn the train into a jacket after you've worn it, if you want to.
Amazing. And then if you have your own fabric, would you be able to use it, or do you have to choose something else?
No, that's fine. I can work with someone's fabric as long as the design that they kind of envisage works with that fabric. I've worked on projects before where the fabric doesn't quite work with what the client sees in their mind, so you have to work out other ways of doing things.
Yeah, because movement of the dress is a big thing, isn't it? So if it's
and sometimes they'll expect something that's very structural, where the fabric is too fluid. So you have to kind of think about what you want to achieve with the design.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. I've bought the fabric and then wanted a design, but hadn't thought about, does that fabric go with that design? Is it going to be structured? And actually, it just kind of fell.
Yeah.
So that's happened to you.
Yeah, sometimes it's too loose, or sometimes it's too stiff.
Yeah. And what has been the longest time you have spent creating one of your couture designs?
I think the dress for Philippa, I think that was a 6-month project, and this also has a very long detachable train, which I haven't put on because it would have filled the room up. But it has a three-layered train that attaches to this, and also a veil, which was just attached in the back of the hair.
And did you make the veil as well? Do you make veils?
It was just a very simple simple veil, which kind of just flowed into the train.
That's stunning. That's absolutely stunning. And I've actually seen that there is a bit of a trend, brides reusing the veil to potentially make a baptism or christening outfit for their future children. And I think that's such a nice.
That is a nice
yeah,
idea.
Yeah, and I think
I love the idea of reusing dresses. I'm you know, if brides want something that they can re-wear or reuse or remodel, you know, I can think of that into the whole process as well. I'm really interested in that.
Amazing. And then we've had another question about how much notice do you require to make a couture dress? So I think we've already said that's about 6 months.
Yeah,
is like a good time frame.
Ideally 6 months, and I think because of the current situation as well, I think 6 months is a good amount of time.
And what's the quickest you've had, like what's the least amount of time you've been given by like a customer to like whip something up?
I was about 6 months ago, I was asked by a stylist friend of mine if I could turn around a dress in a month.
Wow.
And it was the dress that she liked from my collection was actually impossible because the fabric was from Italy, and you know, like I said earlier, it was exactly in August when they were all closed down, so I wouldn't have been able to get the fabric until September. So that's kind of why we need as much time as possible.
Gosh, yeah, because you did mention that some of the fabrics in Europe you can't get them during August.
Yes.
And is that just because that's when everyone's going on holiday? Is that why? Or?
Yeah, usually most of the factories and suppliers, they all go on holiday in August. Yeah. Like most of the industries go on holiday in August. That's why going on holiday in August is so crazy. But it's really impossible to get anything done in Europe during that.
So I used to work for a bank, and our headquarters were in Spain, and it was exactly the same. August, you couldn't get anyone. It would just be in the office for the full month. So any emergencies would like come back in September. Okay, fantastic. Had a few more comments about the dresses being stunning. Someone said that they wish you were around when they got married, so you could have designed their dress because your dresses look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
That's amazing comments there. And then Curtis, just before we wrap up, I just wanted to maybe just go into a little bit of information on your studio. So maybe like where it's based and, you know, how many people could come in, because obviously we are in lockdown now, but you are thinking of reopening in July.
Yeah, I mean, if any clients want to see me there, it's better for them at the moment to come on their own. Obviously, because we would only just start the initial process, so it would just be with them anyway initially. I'm sure once things are changed later on, then they'll be allowed to bring a guest or two. But I think for now it's fine just for the one person. And obviously, like I said, the PPE will be there and the studio. Oh, sorry, where is it? It's in Battersea. Yeah. Just across Chelsea Bridge, near Battersea Park.
Okay, amazing. And for people who aren't travelling on public transport yet, I'm one of those people. Do you have parking available or nearby?
There's actually a storage unit which is next door. I think you're allowed to park for up to an hour or two. Okay, that's. And typically when people do come, maybe for like the first session with you, like how long would they expect to be there for the fitting? I think normally an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
That's usually a good amount of time, and you know, you just get to know somebody And I just try and make it as relaxed as possible. It's not, I don't try and rush people, or, you know, I want them to be relaxed and not feel rushed or stressed.
Perfect. And I've seen there's been comments about the wedding diet, and well, weddings being the most unintentional diet for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
does that give you any issues? So if you've had your initial fitting and then, I don't know, you see a bride and she's lost a lot of weight, would that cause an issue, or?
It can. I mean, it's really helpful at the beginning to know if clients are planning to lose weight, and I think most usually are. But because of the way things are made, we can do things in stages. So the closer that you get to the completion date, things kind of move along in that process anyway. So you can either see somebody's losing weight, even if they're not telling you. You can tell, you can see if they're losing weight. And it's just doing things in stages so that it allows for that to happen.
Okay, perfect. And then I've just had a question come through about consultations and whether there's a fee for the consultation.
No consultation. There's no charge until you confirm that you're happy to go ahead with the design. You know, I'm quite happy to get very invested with designing for clients, and then once they're ready, once they say, yeah, this is the dress I want, it's only then that we would take a deposit.
Okay. And that's usually after, in terms of, in case any of you missed the process, so Curtis will meet with a bride or customer, because it could be a couture dress, but not necessarily a wedding dress. They will go through any visual references first to see, you know, the sort of style that somebody's looking for. There'll be a number of fittings. So I guess it's if you're happy with your design, that's when you'll move on with making the dress and having all the fittings and things like that.
Yeah.
And of course, when you would expect Curtis would also need to charge for his time.
Yeah. And this isn't my studio, by the way. This is
yeah, this is Curtis'
home.
Perfect. Okay, brilliant. So do we have any more questions on the live feed? Because if not, I'm going to just ask a couple more questions and then we'll wind down. Oh, I've got some comments that have come through just saying, thank you for presenting a bright designer with a good soul. Oh. Yeah, I'm very grateful to have Curtis on here. He's a great soul. So thank you for your time, Curtis.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think it would be good just to wrap up, Curtis, by just understanding, obviously you are on social media, but how would someone watching get in touch with you if they want to talk through a possible design?
Well, you can either contact me through the website. All my contact details are on there. You can leave a message. My phone number's there. You can call me. You can either contact me through Instagram or Facebook, and I will get back to anybody within 24 hours as soon as I can.
Perfect. Okay, no, that's great. And obviously, so even if you just go on to Show the Bride, I've got Curtis's details on there. So his Instagram page, if you're looking for it, it's curtis.cornelius, and you can find him on Instagram. Fantastic. So that's been amazing, Curtis. I'm so grateful that you've given up some time this evening to talk us through the design process with you. And I'm so grateful that you actually allowed us into your home to see the dresses, because the dresses look absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And this was the first in my lockdown series, so I'm very grateful that this has been a success, and judging by the comments, it looks like you guys enjoyed that. So if you'd like to see Curtis again or some more from Curtis, then just let us know and we can get that arranged. I've actually got another live next Saturday, so I'll send some details of that on the page at some point. So just stay tuned for that. That's going to be more about skincare and wedding skin prep and beauty prep before your wedding day. So that's next Saturday, I think at 6, but I'll just try to remember the details. But yeah, just before we end, I'd just like to really say thank you so much to Curtis for his time, because this has been an amazing collaboration and I'm so happy that it's happened. So Curtis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome to all the listeners.
Thank you so much. Okay guys, so we'll end there. And like I said, if you need to see Curtis's details, you know where to find him. He's on Instagram, he's on Facebook. get in touch with him on his website, and you can book a consultation. So the consultation doesn't have a fee, but obviously once you know that you want to make a dress and you're happy with your design, then that is when you will agree prices and things like that. So feel free to contact Curtis. You've seen today that he's very friendly, very personable, so there shouldn't be a reason why you'd feel shy to contact him, even though he's a couture designer. Don't be too intimidated. Reach out to him. All right. Thank you so much, Curtis.
Thank you.
So we'll end there, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a good evening and stay safe during lockdown.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.